Freya is a goddess of love, sex, and war, the first and most beautiful goddess in Asgard after Frigg. As the queen of the Valkyries, she has the right to take half of the Einherjus to her chamber. When she cries, sheds golden tears, the goddess of fertility, of harvest and harvest, owns the most beautiful Brisingamen necklace, travels through the 9 worlds in a chariot drawn by 2 cats, and has a magical falcon plumage, wearing which she can fly in the image of a falcon. Now we will analyze in more detail the image of the Scandinavian goddess and learn how the goddess from Vanaheim became a resident of heavenly Asgard. In ancient times, Aesir and Vanir fought with each other, and when the war came to an end, the warring parties made peace and exchanged hostages as a sign of goodwill. Mimir and Honir went to the Vanir, and Njord went to the Aesir, followed by his children, Freyr and Freya, and that is how the beautiful goddess ended up in Asgard. When Freya first entered Asgard, everyone around was so amazed by her beauty and grace that they provided her with the beautiful Folkwanger Palace, the most beautiful place in the 9 worlds, the main hall of which is called Sessrumnir, where Freya could comfortably meet and accommodate all her guests. Freya is the goddess of war, love, lust, and discord, as well as wealth, sincerity, beauty, and fertility. In the German Scandinavian pantheon, she occupies a special place, but still inferior to the official wife of Odin, Frigg. The name Freya transparently means Lady Mistress in Old Norse. The goddess Freya comes from the ancient family of the Vanirs. One of her ethical names is Vanadis, which in Old Norse means the daughter of the Vanirs. Freya, as the goddess of love, was affectionate, gentle, and loving carnal pleasures. In some myths, she was the object of desire of the Jotun. Nevertheless, the Scandinavians believed that Freya also loves war. At the head of the Valkyries, she went to the battlefields, choosing the dead heroes, whom she then took to her chamber, but still she gave half of the soldiers Odin, so it is not surprising that in some images she can be seen in armor, chainmail, a helmet with a shield and weapons in her hands, but down from the waist she was dressed in traditional women's attire. Freya lured the youngest, most beautiful and strong men into her chamber, where they, having gained eternal life, indulged in idleness and endless pleasures. In addition, girls and wives were taken into her chamber so that they would enjoy the company of their lovers and husbands after their death. The joys and pleasures that reigned in the hall of Freya were so tempting that the women of ancient Scandinavia rushed to the battlefield after their loved ones fell in battles, hoping to meet the same fate. Often they fell on swords and went to the fire where they were burned alive along with their loved ones. Freya is a majestic and beautiful goddess. The Skalds describe her as not tall, slender, blue-eyed, and fair-haired. According to the Elder Edda, Freya's beauty is perfect. Neither god nor man can compare with her beauty. Freya also has her own personal transport. This is a chariot drawn by wild cats that drove her chariot when the goddess of fertility traveled through the 9 worlds. She also has another pet. This is a boar whose name is Hildisvini. According to legend, Freya's boar was once a man named Ottar who had a close relationship with her. Such a relationship between the goddess and a mortal needed to be disguised to hide from Aesir. Their closeness with Ottar Freya turned him into a boar, which for all outsiders was her pet. This goddess also has a wonderful falcon plumage. There is no myth that tells how Freya received this unique artifact, but thanks to this plumage, Freya can turn into an elegant falcon and soar in the sky faster than the wind. Besides, it can carry her between worlds. Freya was a beauty, and it is clear that a groom was soon found. She married Odd. According to some legends, Odd was a mortal. According to others, he was the earthly incarnation of Odin. But one day Freya lost Od and was very sad about him, and according to one of the legends, the Brisingamen necklace was to blame for this. According to the myth, Freya was walking around Midgard and stumbled upon a cave that led her to the workshop of the dwarves. The dwarf brothers had just finished making the Brisingamen, a golden necklace of exceptional beauty. Freya could not resist the splendor of the necklace, and the dwarves agreed to give it to Freya only if the goddesses spent the night with each of them. Freya did just that, and spent 4 nights in a cave, sharing a bed with all 4 brothers. The dwarves gave her the necklace, and Freya returned to Folkwanger. Everyone greeted Freya for a long time and gazed at the marvelous treasure with confusion, and in the eyes of some goddesses, an envious light flashed at the sight of the necklace. Proud and pleased with herself, Freya went to her chamber, but only she did not find her husband Odd there. Later she went around all the halls of the inhabitants of Asgard, but no one knew where Odd was. In the end, Freya returned home with the hope that Odd would return, but he never appeared. Odin's wife Frigg came instead and told Freya, "You are waiting for him in vain. Odd will not return here. He disappeared when you made him unhappy for the sake of a shiny trinket. He left Asgard and no one knows where to look for him." Then the goddess of love realized that she had made a terrible mistake. She was sad and abandoned. She cried a lot, and her tears fell on the steep rocks that spread from contact with them. They seeped to the middle of the stones, where they turned into gold. Several tears fell into the sea and became translucent amber. The goddess of love and fertility. Freya has long been worshipped by the people of Scandinavia, as well as in the countries of Northern Europe, and mass feasts and festivals have been held in her honor. It is interesting to note, and that the Scandinavians were common for the most beautiful flowers called the hair of Freya. The ancient Germans even named one of the days of the week after her. Also in her honor are named 2 asteroids, the asteroid Freya and the asteroid Vanadis. Thank you for your viewing. I'll be glad if you subscribe to the channel. See you in new videos.